Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm back with the reaction videos 1428 Financial Wellness, where I try to bring you what you need so that you can do what you need. Let's jump into this video. AO, Patrice Washington, talking about how to build wealth and the pillars to building wealth. Let's go.
I'm telling people, stop going after fake rich. Go after true wealth. And I love your purpose. You want to redefine wealth. Like, you just want to redefine the meaning of true wealth. So you got the wisdom. Teach us right now. I'm a student. What is your philosophy on wealth, and how did you build your wealth where you are today, coming from where you were a few years ago?
Yeah. So after getting off the floor,
Before she go in, like I always tell people, make sure y'all ready to take notes. Because when people drop nuggets, we usually be like, oh yeah, that's deep, that's good. But we don't write nothing down. We don't talk about how it's going to apply to us, nor do we talk about how it can apply to our family. Like, we are I call it lazy learners. We just sit back and be like, oh, that's good information. And take this information that people are dropping, especially because they've overcome so much and they're starting to pave a blueprint, right? They're literally trying to give you a blueprint. Record that blueprint. Let's go.
said I started that free blog, and my dream was just to, if I help one, right? And I almost quit because I was sending it to family and friends, and I'm like, sending out little emails, not even BCCing, didn't even have proper protocol. I was just everybody in AOL. Just here you go. I'm dating myself, I know.
Oh, no,
like you said, Anthony, I look young. I ain't young.
Hey, man, I trust you. Y'all don't know nothing about AOL, but I know all about it.
Do. Right. All right. So
that's when the phone line was busy back in the day.
So I was sending it out, and then I realized after a couple months of doing it consistently every week, I would take a proverb and try to find a business or money lesson and break it down. And then I realized, well, my mom isn't reading, because every time I ask her a question, she's like, yeah, I didn't get to see that one. And I'm like, okay. Then my husband, I'm like, did you read what I wrote? What I put out there? And he's like, babe, haven't got around to it. And I said, this is foolish. You need to find a job, because clearly you did not hear from God on this. That's what I thought.
How many people be dropping stuff, right? And you look to your mom, and mom was like, You look to your friend or something, they like, they ain't really reading your stuff, right? What do you do in those moments? Leave a comment below. Do you keep posting? Do you keep trying to write that stuff? Or you be like, oh, this ain't for me? Because I feel like everyone who is vested into something and they're pursuing it and they're looking for, comments and validations, and they're not really getting it from their people, that's a point of struggle, right? A point of tension. But again, leave it in the comments.
Because I felt very moved when I got off that floor.
Right.
My first grade teacher, Ms. Boynton, said, when you know something, you have a responsibility to help other people learn it.
Yes.
And I live my life that way, which is why I was always into education anyway, right? Yeah. And I was like, this blog stuff, this doesn't work. I need to make a LinkedIn profile and try to find a job, and still could not find anything for all the education, all the background experience I had. When I tell you, not one thing, not one opportunity out of maybe 30 applications at that time. And then a man sent me a message, an email, and said, hey, I hope you're okay. I've been enjoying your blog and you haven't posted. And wow. I was like, who is this stranger danger? Where did he come from? How does he know me? I didn't even know how to read the back end and look at analytics. I had comments that were waiting for me to approve.
Wow.
People started to read. And I said, God, never again will I quit because I'm looking for some certain response. Right. I'm going to give you something to bless every day.
Yeah.
I did a podcast episode about that. Give God something to bless. It was not about perfection. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about fortune. It was about wanting other people to know in that season that they were not by themselves. I said, God, I'm just going to keep giving you something to bless. An audience of one is still an audience, and I'm going to show up every day and do what you called me to do.
Yeah.
So I think the big thing I need people to hear there is that there's not a need for you to be an expert or be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be willing to share your testimony and give God something to bless.
Ooh.
Like, the goal is to just do something it's not about knowing how I didn't know that all these things would happen.
True.
All I knew was take the next best step.
Yeah.
And so for the last 10 years, it's been a series of next best steps. I wasn't interested, I was committed. Interested people like to gather information, talk about it, mull it over, talk about it some more, Google a little bit more, right? Committed people say, all right, I got about 70, 80%. Let me go on ahead and keep going.
So the reason why I'm hyped up on what she's talking about is what I tell people is they're always focused on consistency. They're like, man, I got to be able to do this for this span of time, right? Especially when it comes to budgeting, financial management, all those things they're thinking about now until long term. And I'm like, don't really think about consistency. Think about commitment, because commitment allows you to be in the moment, right? To make decisions about that moment. And then you keep being committed, and over time it turns into consistency, right? I'm going to say it again. You look at something and you're like, I'm going to think commitment, because commitment over time turns into consistency. Got to remember these things because it's really important, because you're starting to shape the mind, right? You got to unlearn and learn new ways to have your mind be motivated to do things. This, Patricia, you hitting it today.
Because even at that place, you can bless someone.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this, you don't have to be a perfect 10. Why I'm here is because I said, God, if I'm a 7, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s that need something that I have.
Come on.
And if I die a 7, I'm going to make sure I serve 1 through 6. Not worried about 8 through 10.
That's 100.
But we all have something that we can contribute. So that has pretty much been the journey. But there was one day in particular that I was on the Dr. Oz show.
Okay.
And, you know, Dr. Oz loves a good visual.
He
Just
really
love me
does.
some Dr. Oz. He loves a good felt board, you know.
He really
and we're moving pictures of like apples and broccoli, and we're talking about you saving on grocery budgets and all this. And that still small voice said, when you were on the floor, you said you would tell everybody the truth about wealth. And now you're happy because you done built your little brand, and you're on the Steve Harvey show, and you're on that show, and you're doing this stuff. But you're not saying the truth about how you got from sleeping on your brother's couch after New Orleans, right, to now being on these couches next to all these celebrities on these TV shows.
Yes. That's what we're looking for, right? Before she say whatever she gonna say, this is what we ask ourselves as individuals who are, when we're trying to get there, we're trying to be on that pursuit, and we're listening to information from other people, right? What is the real? Don't tell me about your outcome without telling me about your process, because your outcome is something that you're probably confident in and you can glorify. But what happened in that process? What was the grind? What did that grind look like? What did that test look like? How did it become your testimony? Don't just give me the fact that you are wealthy, right? Help me understand the pathway and the blueprint to wealth and the decisions that you had to make so that we can relate more. That's culturally responsive financial literacy.
Come on.
And that check in my spirit led me, Anthony, to a couple weeks later take my entire site down, take all of my products and programs down, and literally start over from scratch in 2017. And that is where Redefining Wealth came from, because I wanted to be a catalyst for this generation, someone to stand up and say, look, wealth is not all about money and material possessions. You can save all the money you want to on groceries. That's cute. You can cut all the coupons you want. That's nice. However, the true 12th century definition of wealth was the condition of well-being.
Say that one more time. I don't think they heard you. The true,
the 12th century definition of wealth, before we added cars and trips and all the bling, was the condition of well-being.
So how do we know we're well-being in 2020? How do we break that down for us now?
Yeah. So I use the 6 pillars of wealth, which is what I teach at Redefining Wealth. And so before you can jump in, I believe, to a lot of hardcore money conversations, this is the reason why you can say the same thing every week and people don't get it.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll say the same thing over and over again. You get to the point, Anthony, where you're like, no, I know I told this same lady.
I told her the budget and she still don't get it.
She can't because her beliefs and her behavior haven't changed yet.
Yes.
Right? That's why we are who we are with $100. We're the same people with $1 million. Like,
come on.
If you don't change some beliefs, some behaviors, some habits, some rituals, you are always going to end up in the same predicament, right?
Yeah.
Look, now that video was real. I love it. If you like that video, leave some comments. What did you like about it? Right? Ayo and Patricia, they're over here killing it with some great conversation about money and wealth. She dropped some major nuggets. But again, like, subscribe, share these videos. We're really trying to help individuals understand what it means to redefine wealth, how to focus on certain pillars. Like, this is really great. Again, I don't know what else to say. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.